My name is Ian Smith, and I am the chair of the Philosophy and Religious Studies Department at Washburn University. I think one of the most important things that I want students to know about our department, and I know this is true of lots of other departments at Washburn University, is how much we care about our students, how much we help them to succeed at whatever level they're at. We have pretty small programs, so we have about 15 majors in each program, philosophy and religious studies, and it really gives us the time to be able to hone in on an individualized approach to the major. And each student does a thesis project. The student develops a thesis and then defends that thesis in front of the department, and everybody reads it. And it's not intended to be this big scary thing. It might sound like that. It's really intended to take a project that the student really loves, a topic that the student is really engaged in, and work with a faculty member of the student's choosing to engage this project and to really learn and to really grow as a senior. So we're always engaged with our students. We help them along the way. We often do multi-part writing assignments where the student will turn in part of an assignment first, like maybe the thesis statement. Then maybe they'll turn in a proposal for the paper. Then maybe they'll turn in a rough draft. And then finally they'll turn in the final version of their paper, so that the student isn't freaking out like, oh my God, I have this paper due, and what am I doing? And I'm just gonna turn the thing in and hope it goes well. That's not how we do things typically. We typically have a multi-step process writing that paper so that the student can at each stage see, okay, what do I need to work on to make my paper better? We are cutting edge. I mean, we are, in terms of active learning, in terms of getting the students engaged in the classroom, everyone is working really hard on that. Because normally we have a very engaged student body in both programs, philosophy and religious studies. Normally we have a philosophy club that meets once a week where the students get together and there's a faculty member, either Dr. Hine or Dr. Moss, who facilitates the discussion, usually on like a really contemporarily relevant topic, like let's say philosophical implications of the Black Lives Matter movement. That's something, the very kind of thing we might talk about. With COVID, that hasn't been happening, so maybe we can get that going virtually. On the religious studies side, there was a class that Dr. Jones had on paganism. Some of the students in the course actually developed a pagan student group based on that class. Philosophy, well, let me start with how Dr. Hine puts it. Some students come up to him and say, you know what can I do with a philosophy major? And his response is, tell me what you can't do with that. And I just love that response because it really shows how broad of a set of skills, particularly in critical thinking, that philosophy engages. And I know this word critical thinking is thrown around a lot, but in philosophy, it has a very specific meaning. It means how to think logically. And one of the things you do as a philosophy major is you learn precisely how to do that. And that can help in any career. In my view, philosophy is the very best pre-law major a student can engage in. Why? Because students learn the skills of logical analysis, conceptual analysis. With respect to religious studies, one of the primary skills that a student learns in religious studies is intercultural understanding, intercultural competence, learning where other people from other cultures are coming from. In religious studies as well, critical thinking is absolutely a big part of that too. Religious studies majors have gone on to law school, have gone on to social work, have gone on to graduate studies in religious studies. The GRE is the Graduate Record Examination, and it is what many graduate programs use to see how the student is going to be able to do in their program. In the 2013 through the 2016 Graduate Record Examination results, philosophy majors were the #1 performers In the analytic and verbal reasoning categories, and the religion and theology majors were number 2. When someone says, what do you learn in a religious studies or a philosophy program? You learn analytical reasoning and verbal analytic skills. How do you know that? Look at the results. So that's what I wish everyone knew about our programs.